Hello and welcome to the Flory Modders Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on the 6th of May 2022 after what was actually a very busy week, because obviously it's a 4-day week this week, so obviously the bank holiday Monday if you're in the UK. Hope you had a nice weekend. So really it was cramming this full week into just 4 days, but boy did we get a lot done. So anyway, it all started, as you can see down in here, on Tuesday, where we had the Tuesday show. So usual thing, I was answering all your questions, any members things. We were talking about the group builds and SIGs, various things like that, and also we did a little bit of an on test, as you can see here, with the AK Super Chrome. Now I know a lot has been said about this stuff, some of it very positive, some of it quite negative, so I thought what we do, we get a couple of bottles in, so Matt's got some and I've got some as well, and we thought we'd have a little bit of a go with it. So as you can see down in front of us, we've got an A-wing. And to be honest, this is one of our demo pieces that we use for a lot of stuff. But this stuff is supposed to be able to cover pretty much everything and doesn't need priming or anything else like that. So we decided to literally just get in with it and see exactly how it went. And as you can probably see, I did my usual way. Nice little dusty coat just to give it something to grip onto. But it covers incredibly well. You can probably see those lines in there, which is actually clay wash. So that was the first one in, looking very nice. It's got a bit of shine to it. But with all of these chrome features, you need to really flood it on. By flooding it on, what happens is it gives it all a chance to level out, and it needs to level. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything more than a silver finish. So again, coming along, if I get on with it, what we're going to do is actually put down a really heavy coat right over to it and make it absolutely pop. And again, this was only a quick on test with this one. This isn't one of those ones where, obviously it's in perfect conditions for it, because I imagine if it was going over a gloss black finish, then yeah, it'll be totally different. But as you can see, when you clock it down and you start to get a good coat down, this stuff covers it incredibly well. And when I say well, I mean that's going over a really quite a gnarly finish, as you can imagine, right down there on that, and it was easily covered everything that's on there. So it's got a primer down there, it's got washes onto it, this, that and the other, and generally not nice, but it covered it very well. As you can see, the camera hates it being chrome because of that very fact. Then we went along and we tried on the top side, and this is my standard way. I've been doing it for many years now, and this is to use Molotov. So Molotov do a chrome finish as well, and it's what I've done on a lot of my builds. A few years ago, you might remember we redid the truck. So we did the actual big 1/16 scale truck, and we did all the chrome work, and we redid it in this. So again, the thing is that I found difference between the two is the Molotov is a lot more thicker. You have to thin it to get it to go through an airbrush nicely. So I'm just doing it my usual way of just chucking down a coat like this. And then again, what will happen is I will literally come back with it thinned a little bit and go right over it. But you see, you can also see with the Molotov stuff, you put it on, it doesn't look that nice, and then all of a sudden it comes back and it pings. So as it dries, it goes chromy, if you can see. So even if I probably see this in real time, you can actually see it starting to go chromy and come back. And again, it was quite a nice way to have a look at it, because it gives a direct comparison between obviously the Molotov stuff and the new AK1 as well. You can see the AK1 down there, and you can see it's chroming off now, and give it another half an hour, before you know it, it is completely like chrome. And so yes, and there it is. And to be honest, here it is here. So this one here, if I just change cameras, is the said chrome effect, and you can probably see the top, the Molotov is still absolutely chrome, no problem at all, and you can probably see underneath here not quite as good. So again, this isn't a perfect on test with this particular one. It was literally just going through the motions as a quick go, just to see what initial results said. Like I said before, if this was done over a black gloss finish, which was a perfect mirror finish, and then you put obviously any of these over to it, you're going to be in the best possible scenario for it. What I wanted to know is just what it'll do right off the bat. Really impressed with it, but as you can probably see, if I put it on me, it's not, there's my logo on my shirt there. You can see, you can't really see it, but the Molotov one, you can still see it. It's a lot clearer. So initial results as I've done it as well is that I don't think it's quite as good as the Molotov one. It still would be my go-to one for it. But what I really like about this one under here is that it's got a far more natural metal look, if it makes sense. And this is the weird thing we talk about sometimes with scale effects and that, because what we're trying to do is obviously recreate something that we might see in the real world. And the chances are, unless it's in the sci-fi world, it's not going to be as shiny as that. It's probably more likely to be something like that. What I'm really impressed though with the Super Chrome is its coverage. It covers everything in one with no problems whatsoever. So from that point of view, I think equally they are as good. It probably does need a little bit more tweaking. As I said, we've got their thinners here, and we went through the line of having a look what it's with. And to be honest, I do think it's an alcohol based, because obviously this thinners just smells like X20A. I tried it with a bit of X20A. It works exactly the same as well. So from that point of view, it was quite an interesting sort of test day just to see how it worked with that one. But I said I'm going to keep it. We've done some playing with it. It's dulled off, and you see it down in here, because what we were, we put oils onto it and then we tried to remove them. They're exactly the same, so it's not a good idea to try and use oils with this stuff. And it is, like I've often said, this is a one and done. So if you're going to be doing a chrome finish, you put it on and you just leave it. You don't overcoat it, you don't touch it, you just leave it exactly how it is, and it will be absolutely fine. I think if you're handling it and stuff like that, it will dull it down the same way as obviously it's done on the underside. But again, interesting test, and we had a lot of fun with that one. Over on Tuesday we had the PM show, so usual things we were talking about there. So it's all things from the PM stores. Obviously we've got new lines coming in, we've got all the Air series, as you can see, what we're talking about down in there. So this is the Model Air series sets, they are all in, and we're going through obviously getting some new lines in at the moment. As we were talking about, we do have a 25% sale, so that's 25% off kits in that particular section. We'll talk about that at the end of the show, and we were talking about obviously new lines, what was going, what's coming, what's coming out, what we're excited about, so forth and so on down in there. So if you want to know all things modelling related from the PM show, then obviously that is the one for you, and that one is obviously free for members to non-members to watch as well on there. Last night, yes, we've got, if I just cue us up a bit in here, we've got various things we were talking about on last night's show. I'll talk about that in a moment. So that's the AK's 3G paint system, which I've been playing with this week, doing a lot of on testing as well. Me and Matt have both been playing with it. Matt's got a fantastic build going at the moment as well for members to watch. I think the next part of that will be up with you on Thursday with the Wimic, and he's been using the 3G paints as well and having a lot of success with them. But again, really, really nice. But anyway, it was a great show last night. We had a lot of laughs, and time absolutely flew. I couldn't believe it, where the time went actually. It was a very fun show to do last night. So if you want to catch up with that one, members, obviously you can see that up on the site as well. Remember, don't forget how this one works now. We do every other Thursday, and then me and Matt do a show even on Tuesday afternoons called the Vlogcast, where we just basically have a chin wag about various things. You might remember last week we spoke about Monogram and so forth and so on. So we'll be back talking about other great things on Tuesday as well. So if you want to join in with that one, it's between 3 and 4 on Tuesday afternoon, but it's every other Tuesday. So if we do a Tuesday show, we won't do a Thursday, and then Matt's video builds will be up on a Thursday as well. So that's definitely how you want to see that particular one. And that gets us over to really today. So we're up to part 5 with the Great War Hobbies F15 e-build. Again, I managed to stuff this up beautifully by tipping a bottle of thinners all over my cutting mat and having to rescue the model out of it. So I had huge prints left in the actual model. I don't know if you might be able to see it just down in here. Where is it? That's probably what I'm just looking at. Oh, you can't quite see it, but there's a big fingerprint in here. There's another one in the side, so I have to go around and sand all of these out. But as you can see, we get these actual fast packs onto it. We go along, we talk about the acrylic rod for the heat blur effect as well from the actual engines, because obviously this one's in flight, as you can see, and going through the motions of that one and getting it all packed down. So again, we had to do a little bit of work with the actual speed brake, which to be honest is the first time I had to sand any detail or any parts as well to make them fit a little bit better, but it needed just a touch of work in there, so that went in well. We completed off the cockpit area as well, so those are all in as well, ready for the painted figures to go in a little bit later. We got the hug glass painted up as well, and then we're off into primer. So we used AK primer on this one to go through the motions of getting it all ready for paint as we did, and to be honest, here she is. So again, it's one of those, it's a really nice kit. It's gone together really well, and all the cock-ups are literally my own. So the thing about the actual intakes, getting them wrong, that was me not reading the instructions. Make sure you read the instructions. Then I knocked over a bottle of paint and obviously a bottle of thinners, and that's why we got just down in here, the cutting mat's got a clean spot. Yes, I have got a new cutting mat on the way. But yeah, and here she is. she's done. So paintwork went on yesterday. To be honest, we've done a little bit of sort of post shading with it. We've got the engine work done in here, and I know metals is difficult to see, but we've got different hues down in here. We've got blues and browns and various things down underneath here as well. We've obviously got the pylons all done. We've got the fuel tanks all done and everything on this particular one. So it's actually, I have to say, a beautiful kit. I love the way these tailplanes fit in as well. It's a proper chunky fit that they go in and everything else like that. So plan of action literally is get decals on this next. We'll get a sealer coat down onto it. We'll get a wash onto it, and then we can really start going ahead with it. And as you probably saw last week, we were talking about, obviously got the acrylic rods. We've got a gorgeous solid mahogany plinth for it, and we're going to do a nice in-flight look with this particular one, and we'll put some weapons on it and various bits and pieces. But I have to say, it's the first time I've built a Great Wall Hobbies kit, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's a dream kit. It goes together as good as any of the AAA companies out there. No filler used on this kit whatsoever so far, and all the seams has been absolutely spot on. It's a very, very much a well-engineered kit. And I'd say, first time done with Great Wall Hobbies, and if all of their kits are like this, then yeah, beautiful, beautiful. The surface detail is very refined, very sort of, you know, crisp as well. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to look absolutely fantastic when we're finished in flight. Last up is this. So another thing we were doing, me amount of testing, because obviously the PM Store is going to be getting in 3G paints shortly. So like everything as we always do, we're not just here to sell stuff. We only sell what we like and what we use. So we've been playing with this a lot. And to be honest with you, when we first started using it, I wasn't that impressed. And Matt definitely wasn't that impressed with it, because we had all the usual acrylic problems. So we had trouble with like tip dry, flow, usual bits and pieces. What I have found though, a lot of that is again user error on my part, because I'm so used to painting with lacquers that I was trying to use it the way I would paint lacquers. And obviously acrylics doesn't work like that. First of all, you need to thoroughly mix this paint before you get going with it. So make sure you mix it outside of your colour cup. So don't put it in your airbrush, mix it completely outside of it. Make sure it's all good and you're all fine, and make sure your airbrush is totally clean as well. Because I had a little bit of gumph in mine. Obviously I sprayed lacquers through it, it didn't like it. By the time I cleaned it out, we had great success. And to be honest, I didn't use their thinners. I used a little bit of Vallejo airbrush thinners with it, and it worked absolutely fantastic. Then through a slightly happy little accident, I put lacquer thinners through it, and it worked absolutely mega. And now I've tried spraying with it, and again, this is what this is down in here with X20A. And it went down absolutely beautiful. It's got very, very nice coverage. It covers fantastically and goes down very, very smooth. And again, I know this is armour colours, and I'm led to believe that the actual air colours are a bit more of a satin finish. But yeah, absolutely found these are great. And again, the beautiful thing about these, if you are in a system or an environment which lacquers aren't really for you, maybe the smell or just through extraction and stuff like that, and you want something that's a little bit more pleasant, then definitely I can highly recommend these, because there's literally no smell to them whatsoever. Obviously you stick lacquers in it, you are going to get it, but if you're just using, as I did with, you know, normal acrylic airbrush thinners, it works absolutely fantastic. So again, I've tested it now with lacquers through it, no problem at all. It absolutely loves it. I've tested it with obviously alcohol based like X20A, loves that as well, and then obviously standard acrylic thinners, it works really well. So again, we are going to be stocking those at the PM Store, so watch out for that in the next few weeks, and highly recommend it. I tell you what it really does work well with is the real colours. So this one has been sprayed in real colours, and I've used real colours for the last few weeks. Really like them. The great thing obviously about these is technically they're designed, I think, more to be hand painted, although you can airbrush them as we've been showing. But the great thing is I'm led to believe that the colours are a spot on match for the real colour colours. So if you need to do touch-ups, if you need to do little bits and pieces, you can switch between the two. So these are fantastic as well for hand painting and for airbrushing. But if you do like your lacquers and you like doing my trick, which I do lacquer thinners through real colours, you could just then do a little bit of touch-ups hand painting as well with these, and the colour seems to be spot on from what we can tell so far. So very impressed with those. It was a good week doing a test on them, and they've come along really, really nicely. So watch out for those in the next few weeks over on the PM Store as we get those ones in. The other big thing is obviously we've got the Nordic SIG started now. So this obviously finished off the Flashpoint SIG, which finished last week, which we'll show at the end of this show. So stand by for that, some fantastic reveal video for that one. But anyway, Witcher has finished already. So a beautiful F16. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. Beautiful markings down in there as well. So anyway, that is up on the site now. So if you literally pop into the onto the forum, and you pop down through all our categories, and then down in here we've got the Nordic SIG, which started. This is going to run till the 31st of August, so it's our second SIG of the year. So sorry, second SIG of the year. And then we've got work in progress. Got 29 in there already, and obviously we've got the one finisher. So fantastic work on that particular one. The 70s group build is still ongoing. We've got 129 entries into that one. We've got 47 finished on there, but you have got until the 30th of June to get that one finished off as well. So you've still got plenty of time down in there. We have finished off obviously the Flashpoint one, the reveal video, and everything else which you'll see at the end of the show is down in here as well, and all of your completed ones, and it is unlocked now. So if anybody likes to make a comment or anything else like that, you can do now. And then obviously don't forget, all the work in progress threads have now been moved back into the work in progress area. So if you're wondering where that's gone, that's where that is right now. So lots of good stuff down in there. And also a big welcome to new members. We seem to be getting a lot of new members at the moment coming through. So a big welcome to you lot with the Flory family. And again, any problems at all, shoot me a message or the team, or just put a shout out on the forum. I'm sure somebody will put you in the right direction within mere minutes. So, but a big welcome to everybody who's joined us this week as well. Finally, over to the PM store. Lots of stuff that's going on down in there as well. So we've still got the 25% sale going on. So we've got 25% off all of the Revel kits that we can see down in here. We've got a load of Fujiyami stuff, especially their cars and various things, as you can see as well. Some nice F1 cars down in there, some of the classics as well. All of those ones. We've got the new kits as well on special. And we've got all the Dragon down in here, some fantastic kits down in here as well, all 25% off. So if you want to grab yourself something down in there, we've got all the figures, the bits and pieces, and then again we've got some Takum still down in there, and all the other kits as you can see down below. Again, once these are sold out, that is it, gentlemen. We won't be keeping them in stock anymore, but if you do want them, obviously you can put in an order for them and we can get them in for you, but obviously it will be at full price again. So if you want to grab anything from down in there, you can. And then obviously we've got our special section up as well, 15% normally off in these areas as well, off of all these great kits. Speaking of which, Jaguar, I'm starting that next week. I'm doing that build as a bit of a homage for 20 years ago that I actually did the video build for it, so we're doing a brand new updated one for that. Anyway, and all the other bits as you can see down in here. So if you want to grab yourself anything from there. And lastly, Academy. We've had a restock of Academy in. Academy seems to be a right pain to try and get in, but we have got them in now. So again, a couple of great kits here. We've got the Academy, obviously the British version of the Apache, and obviously we've got a Block 2D Apache down there as well, the US, obviously the SR71, which is a great kit, and some other classics as you can see down in here. So if you want to get yourself Academy, we've got a good restock of that one going on at the moment. And that is about it for this week. A really busy week, considering we fitted this all in 4 days. Hopefully next week will be a little bit quieter. So I'm off to get a new cutting mat, because definitely we need one after this week. And then hopefully, as I say, next week we're going to get the F15 pretty much all done, if not actually mounted onto the stand and things like that. As I said before, we are starting this little kit, which is the Jag next week. Again, 20 years ago, I did a video build on this. Amazing. Where does the time go? I've been doing this clearly far too long. It's the same kit, apart from I did last time the 2-seater version, the trainer, so I'm going to do the single seat one. And obviously we were on the chat last night discussing which version to do, and I'm going to do it in wraparound camo with the red tail. So it's a little bit of a look back 20 years ago since I last did that kit as a video. So crazy, where does the time go? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with your fantastic work from the recently finished SIG, which was the Flashpoint SIG. So until next week, everybody, happy modelling, take care.